Here's a way to make a capital block letter I just a little bit more interesting, to give it a little bit more style, a little bit more personality. So you can see I started out here with a yellow marker and I wrote a capital letter I. And now I'm taking a black Sharpie flip chart marker and I'm tracing around the outside edges of that letter. I'm outlining it, so I'm ending up with a simple block letter. And now I'm adding the wavy edges. So to do that, you can see I'm kind of creating little half circles along the way. So I'm using big waves on the edges of the eye or the vertical lines, and I'm using really small waves or small scallops, small half circles on the horizontal lines of the eye. So this is kind of an experiment. I do a lot of experiments when I'm doing letters like this, or just drawing in general. And I think experimenting as you go, just doing what kind of what seems right, whatever inspires you at the moment. It could be something you see around you. It could be just maybe a mark you made on the page. And to just kind of go with it and see what you end up with. And sometimes you end up with some really, really fun things. So experimenting is a big part of really success in lettering and drawing in general, and any creative work. And you just kind of have to take whatever ends up on the page and figure out how to use it in a way that's going to be helpful for you, instead of getting hung up on making something look one specific way. So this is a little bit more creative way to do or to approach lettering than just straight copying like a certain font style. So there are lots of different ways you can approach things. So hopefully this will inspire you to approach your letters a little bit more creatively, and that gives you a lot more flexibility, a lot more, it's also a lot more forgiving too. So if you end up doing something you're not so happy with, you just kind of keep working at it until you end up with something you like. So like on this one, there were areas where my lines weren't so straight, so I just went back and drew over them. I made some of them a little bit bigger so they were neater. And then as you can see, I'm coloring them in so they're nice and solid black as I go along. You can do this many ways. You can draw all of the outer wavy line parts first and then go back and color them all in. That's a great way to work if you're working live and you don't know how much time you're going to have. That way you get the main idea out there on the page, and then you can go back in and color it in if you have the time. If you are creating things to be read from a distance, then coloring them in nice, as solid, strong black is going to be very important, because the bolder the edges of the letter are, the easier it's going to be the easier it will be to read from a distance. And then you can color it in a solid color, like I started with yellow, or a color that's darker than yellow if you'd like, but you can leave it as is. Yellow isn't really too visible from a distance. So there you go. There's a simple way that you can make a simple block letter I just a little bit more interesting.